They are not your father's journalist. Gone are the days of the 15-minute newscast at 6 o'clock in the evening or the evening paper being tossed on your doorstep. Replaced now with 24-hour news channels, the worldwide internet, and bloggers, the ever-present bloggers. But can we believe everything we read, we see, or we hear? By a show of hands, who amongst us trusts the media? Everybody?
Trust everything.
No hands up.
No hands up. I thought we were here to talk about Michelle Obama's dress.
No,
Isn't that what the media does these days?
I don't trust what I get off a Chinese food menu half the time. So,
well, there's a reason.
It really depends on what the report is for me.
Give me an example.
Well, I try to keep myself reasonably informed. I'm not going to believe something just because somebody's spouting it off on cable, just because I read it in a newspaper, just because I saw it online. And I don't think anybody should. You have to take a balance of approaches to find what you're looking for in terms of the news, and then you'll have a better idea of what's out there.
But do you think Americans are doing that? Do you think they're discerning, or are they listening, reading, hearing, and saying, I read it, I heard it, it must be true?
I think you have a more sophisticated audience now, more than any other time in history, and especially young kids who coming up, they will surf. I hire these kids out of college. They can't write, but you hire these kids, and they don't know grammar. But the thing that they do know how to do is how to find information and to sift through it. Now, granted, they can't pick up a phone book and make a telephone call for you. It's like, how do I find a phone number? Here's this book. It's magical. Try it. But the simple fact of the matter is, they do know and are very savvy with the gathering of information from the internet.
But when you gather all of this information from the internet, then you sort of have to sift through it and figure out what's real and what's the perception.
And that's the point, Lynn. I think that some of our viewers are becoming much more sophisticated, but there are the masses that do believe what they read on the front of the Daily News or what Brian Williams says. And
don't believe a word he says. Anything he says is a lie.
They don't call ditto heads for no reason.
We just witnessed the Barack Obama coronation. The networks went crazy over him because he is marketable. It sells newspapers,
right.
and the public loves him.
And they never covered the inaugurations before.
I was going to say, it's interesting she uses the word coronation, and that was one of the reasons that I wanted to do this show, because I wondered if the press that covered the inauguration actually was celebrating its victory by having this man elected.
A little bit of that. But let me set the record straight for you, Lynn. First of all, you can certainly trust anything that you see on Comcast, especially anything that I might have to say tonight.
I trust Lynn, but no one else.
Well, yeah, you can trust me, Brian.
Okay, I trust you.
But
you're all right.
The democratization of the media, small d, is a very important thing that's happened over the course of the past decade here in our United States and around the world, because the plethora of media outlets out there now have taken away from the big three, the national networks that were prejudiced and frankly
business.
But it's good for the consumers, and the Dan Rathers of this world don't control the access to information that they once did.
The problem with it is, as you have diluted the message, you have people who are not trained, who do not know how to gather the information, and therefore leading to what you're saying, people looking at the net and going, well, that's true. It's not. There's no credibility. There's no way that they go after facts and check their facts. And my God, they can't spell.
Let's be honest.
They can't spell. There's no grammar.
At the end of the day,
I'm old-fashioned.
At the end of the day, I'm more concerned about the accuracy of a report than how something's spelled.
No,
but
accuracy starts with spelling the name right. And if they can't spell a name right, you cannot trust anything else in the article.
The only thing that has democratized the way that we gather news, that we collect news, that we disseminate news is the internet. Everything else about the media has become more buttonholed and more siphoned down. You've got more control by individual owners over broadcast signals. You've got people being allowed to own entire markets in the media when they weren't allowed to in the past. So the only thing that is democratizing the media right now is the internet. Everything else.
That's where people are getting an awful lot of their information.
Yeah, because they don't want to go to the one place that owns both television stations and the newspaper in their hometown.
Or that is owned by General Electric. And then you have the networks controlling the information, and it's a bottom line business.
Absolutely.
That's what we're talking about.
That's
it's a
why
money
I always
maker.
laugh when they go,